Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another repair night. Nights that seem to start a little bit later than usual lately. 2:20 in the morning. It's getting a bit crazy. Anyway, get to it, get some work done. To be fair, I'm kind of sleeping odd hours as well, depending on what the cats determine that I need to or am permitted to sleep. Arton, Gable, Barry. Yes, I am up late, Barry. Alright. Just digging into this. So apparently trackpad and keyboard are not detected. They've supposedly tried and replaced them, but to no avail. So is this job 818? Just double check if there's any further information. Replace trackpad. Oh, tried replacing trackpad. Did that and trackpad cable and the keyboard cable. According to them, it is a keyboard fault. Oh, sorry, a mainboard fault. Hey, Greg. Just Ed. Andre. Alexandra. All the other people. Northfix. Time to go home, eh? Lucky you. Time to get started here. I've been programming most of the night, but I had to get this sort of thing done. Amusingly, that machine that we fixed last night, which had to get the data off, the password that's been supplied is incorrect. Why do people do that? Why do people send you stuff? Like if you're a customer and you hand in your phone or your laptop and you need the data off it, and it's important data, why do you keep giving dodgy passwords? So, for all you know, it's going to be a one-shot attempt of getting that data back, and it gets lost because you gave the wrong password. No, maybe they're worried that we're going to go snooping around in their data, and it's like, I don't really have time for that. Hey, NZ. Corey, yeah, it's late because of the cats. Blame the cats. There, I'm just taking this out. Have a look at both sides. I don't know what's been done, so it's one of those let's start from scratch and presume as little as possible type thing. What? That should come out really easy. What's going on there? Why screen little screw? Hey, Micromanage. I didn't really get any sleep last night because I had a 2159 board, I think it was, an 820-1958. Not the 820-1598, the 1958. The one that we don't have a proper board view for. And it's been driving me insane for months. And I changed all the CD3217s, I changed the ISL, I did a whole lot of stuff, and I just can't get it to come good. So I don't know what's wrong with it. It is fairly liquid damaged. So since we don't have a proper board view, I did what I could for reverse engineering based off other board views that do have the CD3217s, and I just can't make it work. So I had to concede defeat on that one for business reasons, and also for the patience, not testing the patience too much of the owner. They have been very good, and I thought it was just time to look, say, just can't get this one. Hey, Kiki. Hey, Zame. Have to get that out. I know when I talk to Jason Vilmer occasionally from STS Telecom, the guy who does a lot of iPhone repairs, he very frequently runs into that problem as well. He'll finally get an iPhone to come good, it'll boot, and put the code in, the code is wrong. So that really does not help your chances of getting your data back. Okay, let's get these little grommets off. Okay, we've got a, I don't know if you can see that, but we've got a burn mark there, I think. Yeah, they're there. It's a bit of a flashbang burn mark. Be interesting to see what's on the other side of the board at that point. The suspense is killing me. Oh, yeah, that's nasty. Yeah, that is nasty. I don't know if this board's going to be repairable with that. We'll have a look. This is going to be one of those, do you dig and try to fix, or do you just simply walk away? Okay, I just need to heat up the tape a little bit. Sometimes it makes it easier for it to come off cleanly. I mean, don't get me wrong, 99% of the time these do not come off. No, that one's not coming off cleanly either. In fact, it's kind of coming off worse. Ah, damn it. That just delaminated. Fantastic. Right, let's show you the damage. Kapow! Yeah, that's penetrated into the board. What on earth did that? And you can see there's been some, like, a serious explosion, eh? It's like blown up here. Something has hit this rubber, ricocheted off, landed there, and then over here. I don't know what was over there a bit. You can see it went kablam, bounce, bounce. Yeah. It's some sort of, probably a tantrum cap. Hey Keith McDermott. Let's see, what is this? This is an 840. Hey Solaris. Let's see now. Schematics, non-CPU sides. That was correct where I was. Okay. Oh, it wasn't a tantrum cap, it was the inductor. PP5VS4, PP5V4 trackpad connections. Okay, so something, let's say the trackpad had a whopping great big fat short. Look at all the debris there. And it just went nuclear. Nuclear? Nuclear. Kind of wondering, either that capacitor there is shorted or the trackpad itself is shorted. So trying C4800. That's definitely a very good blow up. That seems fine. So just go to ground. And what's concerning me here is the degree of damage. It may have really messed up the circuit board. Well, we'll give it a wash down and see what it looks like. Yeah, the electrons nuked it from orbit. Yep. Only way to be sure. I think we're going to have to go in with flux, clear up the area. Like I say, I don't have the greatest of hopes for that circuit board, unfortunately. And then we'll have to check to see where 5ES4 is generated and see if it has taken any damage. Who's taking my tweezers? It's not the vias so much that I'm worried about, it's just that when something gets that has actually become... It's like a chunk of iron now. That's how hot it is. It became a chunk of iron. Because those inductors are often got a fair bit of ferrite in them. Henceforth, being ferrite, yeah. And so when they get super hot like that, they fuse themselves into being a nice little block of metal. That's better. It's not a flaky thing at all, it's... yeah. Okay, there we go. Now if we're really, really lucky, there wasn't really anything underneath there. The trace is all but destroyed. But where was 5ES4 coming from? That's the problem. Where's the remains of the via? So what we'll do is we'll go see if we can find where 5ES4 comes from. So that. And... yeah. This is concerning in its own right now because there's no close connections. There's nothing nearby for it to draw from, which means it probably has cooked a trace through the circuit board for quite a distance. So what do we got? I'm actually surprised that there was that much energy in there. Okay, so 0.42 diode mode, roughly. It's on this great big chunker. Ah, you can't see. I thought I had that on quad display. Alright. Okay, so this is 0.39, so that is within margin. So there is some vague hope that it might have been okay. But where the heck I'm going to get that voltage from is... yeah. I suppose we should be thankful that burned up at that point rather than internally. So we need to go... closest we've got are these itty bitty little ones here. And that's still on the opposite side. What else have we got? I suppose if we want to ensure that it gets a good current supply, it probably would be best for me to take it from, say, one of these 2 points here and run a thick trace all the way around over to here. It's going to be probably one of the ugliest long traces I've done, but I can't see any other way out of it. So that's going to be coming from over here. And we'll just run the wire around, trace it, run it down through here, over to there. Still, I should see if we can dig out the trace. Okay, I'm just incredibly shocked it survived. I wonder if that itty bitty little stump there is actually the remains of it. I don't know, Barham. Well, it's just hard to say, but that looked like it was a very quick, instantaneous, big burn off. It didn't have a lot of time to burn too much around it either. And that stump there is not solder, that's something else, because it's not coming off. I have a feeling this is the trace here. We'll check the diode mode, see what it shows up as. If it's 0.39 whatever, then it probably is it. Okay, so that's got a higher diode mode reading than what we had elsewhere. Yeah, it's all over the place. It doesn't help that the flux is misbehaving. Clean that up. Certainly explains why the why it didn't detect the trackpad anymore. We also don't know if we're going to have damage on things like the SMC and such. Damn it, I keep pushing that a little too hard. 418. So on the other side it's 0.39, on this side it's 418, so it's hard to say if that's because the trace has been burned up inside or whether it's just simply because of the distance involved between the two sides, but probably sooner saying the trace has been compromised. I'll do a continuity test between the two sides. Pretty sure I've got the right ones there. Yeah, it's quite in... Wait, what? It's connected to that cap there for some reason. What has that cap got to tell us? Hey, Jan Zimmy. Ground. Oh, was I pressing on the wrong thing? I might have been... Oh, right, I was. I was supposed to be on that. Okay, let's try that again, rather than getting all excited that we found something we shouldn't have. Okay, that makes more sense. So about 1 ohm. Yeah, I think the safe thing to do in this case is to run a trace. We do have the continuity there, but I think we should really run the trace. Here's one for you pros. Anyone know if knife and success contains 02015 50 ohm resistors? Let's see. Let's do the search. Find a part. So select. Which one are you after? Success. That's okay. Let's see. 0201 50. Is it represented as 50R or 50 something else? Unfortunately, I can't. Okay, I know that's not the file you're looking for, but I want to check something. Okay. Why am I doing it this way? I can do it a completely different way and do it faster. Open BVRE, success. I'm just trying to see how they represent the values. Maybe 50.0. Need something that's got... Yeah. This is why it's so difficult to search for things at times or do things automatically. So 10k, 10k, 47 ohms. But unfortunately, they don't list the resistors like that, 120 ohm or anything like that. They always say 50. I just can't think of any really low ohm resistance that is guaranteed to be on it. Whereabouts is Wayne? Whereabouts is that resistor meant to be, or such? Hey, McRams. Unfortunately, while there are on, see, it's like fun here. We've got, okay, see, they got 39.2 and stuff like that, but they don't actually, and point 0.1, so they do put a decimal point in there if it is, okay, 0.00, but I bet you they don't have 50.0. Yeah, I can't find 50.0. Usually it's 51.0. No. 52.0. 47.0. Can't find anything. 33.0. Oh shoot, damn it. I just can't think of any other than, say, these current sense resistors and these here. So, 39.2. I mean, that's easy enough to find. Some values are just difficult to find. I think 51 is a standard value, but yeah, it depends on what grade of resistors you're using. So, okay, see, this is the problem. See, it's probably going to be like 681, so there's, it could end up being a 50. Okay, let's see, what, 0201's what wattage? What? 0105s. Great, everything's 0105 now. Goddamn bastards. A quarter watt, an eighth watt, or 1/16th watt. Maybe 1/20th. Unfortunately, the values don't double as you go down in size. Oh, here we go, we've got something. Stop. Success. Okay, so we got 0. So it is a 1/20th and 0201. In which case there does not appear, unless it's a 51 or a 52. Okay, there is success. And we're back to the same problem that I had before the other night, where small values are problematic. And I haven't had a chance to actually fix that bug. I think what I'm doing is, if the search string is too short, I'm just ignoring it. Oh, well, anyway, guess I better get back to where'd my flex board go? Okay, so we're gonna get back to this and see what we can do about routing it. Now, I can run it in parallel, but that might not be a smart idea. It might in fact be best if I clear this out, because there's other planes down there. Could easily be a ground or something. what have we got, a left and a right here? See if those two are connected. Oh shoot, sorry. We've got two little knobs here, are they connected? Continuity, buddy, continuity. Okay, so they are joined together. But what worries me is what this lump is down here, which is probably ground. Now what I'm doing at the moment is kind of carving away the damaged circuit board as much as I can. Because if I put down things like UV cure or whatever in this area while it's got all this like stuff that just simply wants to fall away, it's not really going to provide the best secure sort of placement for me to put the new part on. And I really need to just cut this little nub off. Hey Prater. So we don't have a very good idea of what's going on around here yet. In terms of we don't know what lies beneath. Okay, we're getting there. And unfortunately it looks like I just knocked up that via. I often consider doing liquid immersion soldering, because you notice how the view gets so much better when it's submerged in either flux or alcohol. The downside is if you do sort of liquid immersion work, it's very hard to get the heat down onto the board. But it sure looks good though. This little nub here is probably going to prove to be a problem. I should seriously consider just nipping that off. Unfortunately my X-Acto blade is missing its tip. They're all missing their tips because, well, that's what happens with those blades. They work well for maybe one job, and before you know it, you've knocked off that tip. Get a pair of tweezers and grab it. And also do the same to this one. It's not as big there, but again, it's somewhat fused on there, so I can't trust it. Just want to make sure I don't cut. Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about. But anyway, just cut that. See how it's all decayed? The knife just dives into there all too easily, and all the fiberglass fibers. Yeah, the resin has been cooked, burned, turned to charcoal. Just clear this back as well. I'm guessing this is a ground plane, and that little tongue of copper will most likely run into those in short order. Okay. Charcoal's become a resistor. It's gotten that way, hasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just check for continuity against other things like ground. Okay, continuity is alive. So this should be ground. Making sure that isn't touching anything. It's not, so it's good. Alright. We'll seal that up with some UV cure. I'm half tempted to put hot glue on there. I'm not going to put hot glue on. And for the new filter, I might actually make it come off this nub here and come out to here, so that we don't actually have any activity over here. I kind of need to put the part back in there, a replacement part there, or at least I want to, before I fill this in. But then the flux will get everywhere. Yeah, choices. Yes, do it. Very late. Yeah, anonymous. Yeah, goddamn threads everywhere. Let's give it a spot of heat as well. Just try to drive off any moisture. Some stuff oozing out in there. I should put some B7000 on it. That'll fix everything. I gotta admit, I've been using B7000 and T7000 a fair bit more lately now that I've been working on things like iPads. T7000 I found is what just seems to be the same as B7000, but it's black, as far as I can tell. No, I'm being stupid and I'm staying up because I'm sleeping wrong because I'm staying up. Yeah, it's become a bit of a West Bank scenario where don't know who's originally at fault, and it's now just war between me and sleep constantly. That's just way too much there. Unfortunately my UV light is on the other side over here, so you don't get to see that. Alright, hopefully that's good. Alright, while we're waiting for that to cure, catch up on a few things, have a look at this. Haven't had a chance to have a look at this one yet today. This is a new variation of the chipmunk that Harold sent to me, and basically we're just trying to work out how we can make it more useful for the way that I'm using it, which hopefully is more useful for other people. And one of the things that we noticed with the previous ones that he was working on, Paul's got a few different contraptions here. So we had the nice, this is a really nice 4mm banana socket, but the trouble is, because it stands off so far from the center line of the board, when you have it that way, it means the board lifts up, and so when you're trying to probe, you're bending the board. So Harold had a look at this method, and as far as I can tell, he's actually gone along and gutted out a DC connector, a DC jack connector. He just popped the pin out. Yeah, so it's effective, but it does have the problem, and he actually mentioned this, it's got the problem where it's going to be a little bit weak. So what I said back to him is that you can get 4mm bullet receptacles that we usually use in model aircraft battery connectors, and they will also take this, or we can just drop down to 2mm receptacles. And I'm just going to go see if I'm lucky enough to have been a hoarder and still have my round connectors from the model aircraft days. I have a feeling I have not. I have a feeling I threw them out one day just in a fit of disgust, but we'll see. Now we don't want to turn at 90 degrees because we want to be able to pivot like this. Unless you're meaning place this along that edge there. I had considered that. That is at least one way to, you know, offset the height. Yeah. Mr. Daniels, you threw out those things. Why would you throw out those things? Damn you, Mr. Daniels. Banana connectors, banana connectors, banana, banana, banana. Yeah, damn it. And to think I used to have absolutely heaps of them. I don't think I've looked in this container for, well, I haven't for a long time. Round connectors, I wonder if I can, maybe put them in another box. Headers. Doesn't seem very intuitive though. Some of this stuff is like 15 years old now. Clearly I had a project at some point that utilized a lot of right angle 2-row connectors, but nah, this... And I recently had a fairly extensive purge out of the shed out the back, which is where all my model aircraft stuff was. So I dare say it is probably... I'm just going to have to order more. I wonder if any of these would match. There's a chip I'm trying to program. The memory chips that they use for the... what do you call it? This USB-C ROMs. But I don't think the pitch on this is going to be right for any of them. MSOP 8, no, TSOP, no, the pitch is going to be wrong on those, I'm pretty damn sure. Okay, the chip that I'm referring to is present on almost all boards, because naturally I'm not going to be able to find it now. Yeah, there it is, this one here. Stubborn little SOB. It's because it's below the CPU or something, I think. Actually, what is that under? Oh, it's under near the Thunderbolt chip. Yeah. Yeah. It makes you realize how small these parts are when on, like, just visually you think, oh yeah, you know, they're pretty fine pitch there. But fine pitch, unfortunately these are 3-legged, we want 4-legged. Yeah, but this level of pitch is finer yet again. Not even close. So I've got to find a adapter like this for these chips, or I'm just going to have to make them. That's what I might do. I just might draw them up in Eagle and make them myself. The reason being is because I want to be able to copy the contents of these chips off things like the CD3215 or the CD3217 boards, get that information into a file, and then be able to program ones off the, well, as we just saw, the 165 boards or any other generic board that has the chip. Because I seem to constantly be running out of those chips for the CD3215 or 17 programming. Okay, we can shave off, hopefully. Is that harden? Feels like it. What's this? Northridge uses hot air while curing under UV. Interesting. I wonder if that legitimately works or is just perceived to work. Now I'm clearing this area here because this is just way over the edge. This also gives me a good chance to see how well it's bonded, and it actually has bonded properly this time. And the area we're going to put the inductor is over here, so I'm just trying to level it out a little bit. That should be good. Looks kind of pretty. Cures faster with heat assistance. Oh, okay. Now I'll get another 1708 board. Hey Catherine, how you been? I've seen you for a little while. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting, that one. We'll get a better one. Come on, Paul, you can do better. You gotta make this board pretty again. And Mr. Daniels has obviously taken that chipped from that point. It's alright. We'll take the inductor, the filter, whatever you want to call it. So that's what it should have looked like. The cats, we had a bit of an event today. Loki and Lulu, we saw them. They had the "we are watching a snake" stare, and well, I should say Elita saw them. And unfortunately, we were on the wrong kind of side of the door, and the snake was between the door. The door and the cats. So Elita had to run all the way around the house to the other side. And anyway, as far as we could visually, we couldn't see that they had attacked the snake or anything like that. But then later on, we kind of noticed Loki had a bit of a swollen lip. So we were worried then that he'd been bitten. Now, unfortunately, because of the distance involved and everything like that, or I should say Alita, was not able to positively identify the snake at the time. And we have things like the yellow-faced whip snake here, which is it's not great, but if they get bitten by it, it's a case of they're going to feel pretty crap for a couple of days, but they'll be okay. But on the other hand, if it's something like an eastern brown, then it needs immediate medical attention, basically anti-venom injections and things like that, and a couple of nights in the clinic. Anyway, needless to say, we took Loki down to the clinic straight away, and they gave him they have a coagulation test that they do, and it came back negative for the eastern brown, thankfully. So we're not exactly sure why he had the slightly swollen lip. It could have been he may have got close to the snake, and sometimes snakes will actually just, if they're being attacked, the first thing they'll do sometimes is just hit you with their mouth, their snout, rather than trying to bite. So I don't know. It gets difficult. Mike, I am going to be doing that. I have a suspicion it was actually the trackpad or the trackpad cable, and because I've already done diode mode measurements on the line, and it's coming up pretty correct for this board, so it means it's likely the trackpad or the cable that's at fault. We don't have spitting ones here, but 99.9999999. But basically, the fundamental principle of dealing with snakes is that they want to get away. As far as they're concerned, when it comes to humans, we're the monsters trying to kill them. They want to get away, but if you are in their way, or if they feel cornered, then yes, they will go into defensive mode, and yes, if really pushed, they will attack. I mean, there's plenty of videos showing that things like eastern browns and stuff like that, you can just stand still and they'll go right over your feet. They've got no interest in attacking you if they don't have to, and that's the key thing. They won't attack you unless they think they absolutely have to, because it's expensive for them. Venom is not something that comes free. It takes considerable amount of energy to make venom. They just want to get out of there. You're not their meal. But if you get between them and where they want to go, then you're going to get bitten, if you're unlucky. Alright, I gotta find that chip. I know there's going to be a lot of anecdotal reports where people genuinely do believe that the snake was trying to attack them, as in chase them. That's usually what it is. The snake was chasing me. But what it is in those scenarios is that you just happen to be between the snake and where it wants to go. And then when you keep getting in the way and you start stomping, screaming, and whatever, then that's when the snakes go, well, stuff this. I'm just going to have to defend myself. %90 of people that get bitten, in Australia at least, are because they were trying to kill the snake. Mike, I don't know if that's specific to all snakes, whatever, but for the most part, if you just stand still, don't seem like a threat, they will pass you by quite happily. Like I said, you're not food, and if you're not food, then the only other thing you could probably be, if you really make a mess of things, is a threat. Like I said, I know that flies in the face of what a lot of people have experienced, but it's more of a perception of what their perception of what they experienced as opposed to what is actually happening. And I get it, it's damn scary. No one likes to be... you don't want to be confronted with snakes, venomous snakes, particularly the ones in Australia. Mind you, in fairness, the Australian ones are probably at least they're neurotoxic. They're not cytotoxic. The ones in South Africa, they are the ones I really were not keen on getting too close to. I think in the Americas you have them as well, where their toxin, the venom basically, it will rot the flesh. And there's not much you can do about it. Like I said, I know a lot of people are going to go, nope, mate, I really know I was chased one day, and it's like, I respect the fact that you feel that way. It's just not really how they work. But I understand how it can very easily be interpreted that way, particularly at the heat of the moment. And then of course you get these... I'm on a professional snake page. I myself am not... I'm not a snake handler. I'm not qualified to handle snakes. I'm not a snake identifier. I'm not qualified for that. But on this particular snake page, it is terrifying the number of times you see pictures of someone holding a snake and they say, what snake is this? And it's like, you're living in Australia, why would you pick up a snake that you don't know what it is? It's just ridiculously... I don't know. It's kind of like Darwin Award material, yeah. Infomediatek, well, I'm surrounded by them here. I can spot most of the local ones pretty good. There are some that still, in terms of identification, throw me. Like here we have two snakes. One is called the Carpentaria snake, and the other one is the Slatty Grey. I'll just spat them. The Slatty Grey is non-venomous in terms of for humans, and most things. But the Carpentaria snake is venomous, and it can have a bit of a bad effect on animals potentially. But I cannot get a first glance or even a bit of a detailed glance differentiation between them. They have a very similar look and everything like that. Most of the snakes that I get here are things like orange nape snake, yellow-faced whips. We have got so many yellow-faced whips. We occasionally will get a coral snake, which is beautiful little snake, harmless to humans. What else do we get? Bandy. I've only ever seen one bandy in my life. I wish I could see more of them. They're black and white bands up and down. Spotted pythons, very common. Common tree snake. We really only get the grey or the green and yellow variants here. I've never seen a blue phase one here. I would love to see a blue phase common tree snake. It'd be we get them in Townsville, just don't get them out here. So carpet pythons galore all over the place. We do occasionally get a black-headed python. That's quite a beautiful snake, but unfortunately we just don't get them much around here that I can see. So We occasionally get a brown, and really rarely we'll get a mulga, which is commonly known as the king brown, but they are very different snakes. But when you see them, moving across the yard or something like that, it's easy to not be able to differentiate between them. Rat mole, you already know the answer to that. That's your own choice. You've already got your own choice there. Okay, now we've got a. I can't stop you, rat mole. At least not this time around. Now I've got to find a wire that is worthy of being used for this. It's quite tricky because you want something like 0.2. Yeah, this is actually going to be difficult. Catherine, yeah, our cats love cockroaches too. Like, I'll hear at 3 or 4 in the morning, one of them crashing against something. Go out and look, and it's them just losing their head over a cockroach. So this is 0.1 mil wire, and it's just a little bit thin for what I want. But maybe that'll be good actually. Maybe because it will give a chance for it to be a fuse. You can give the okay so that I can feel better about it. Why would I do that? Isn't that it's supposed to be part of the role that you're playing there, that you're not supposed to care. Mind you, it will be fixed up in the next release. I gotta sneeze. Damn. Sorry about that. John, yeah, my schedule's pretty mucked up. It's a combination of everything. It doesn't help that I find it very difficult to get repairs done any earlier than 10 o'clock at night. I spend the day dealing with administration, ordering, dealing with the people who turn up with phones. That reminds me, I've got a phone to fix. Yeah, stuff like that. And then, of course, you have the early evening activities, including eating dinner. And before you know it, it's 10 o'clock midnight. Oh, Ratmole, you do care. Well, we've got a predicament. I say you just carry on with what you've done. And when you're ready, you can go about things the official route. I think I get about 1 or 2 people, about a person a week with this situation, Ratmole. This is the part I hate. Routing and... yeah, just routing. It's like I want to tack it down. I can use hot glue. But what I really should use is like flux. Something that I can heat up, drop on it, and it holds it until I'm ready. Hey Firkin, everybody gets sad. Imagine the people who try to talk to Lewis on his live streams. Yeah, that's... damn it, I'm really making a mockery of this, I'm sorry. Okay, and this is the area I need to connect to. Yeah, John, I do agree. Yeah, the burnout is definitely a great fear. Been there before. Well, it was a little more severe than just I suppose burnout is severe, but there were a few extra implications, and I don't care to go back there. Okay, I think what I can do is route this down the first one. Need my 3 hands, damn it. Make sure I've actually got this right. 5ES4, yep. Okay. Damn it. Now I got the shaky shakes. Hey, Service PC Specialist. Welcome. Okay, since I've only got 2 hands, I now have to preload the area with solder. Unfortunately, okay, we're finally getting through that. Oh man, that burns. Okay, it's tacking it there. It's not properly soldered in, but it's tacking. A little bit of tape. Now, unfortunately, at these scales, it's very difficult to get wire to behave in a way that you want when you're routing it through. You know, it's not like it's nice, vinyl, insulated, well-behaving, outside of, you know, greater than the quantum effects or anything like that. Yeah. Obviously that's not going to stay there. And I also want to maintain some degree of slack, of course. Okay, we do not have enough slack there. Paul made it too short. That's fine. I can drop it down to this next point here. So instead of going up here, I'll drop it so it comes across here. Or maybe I'll just... yeah. Choices. Yeah. I used to hate watching Lewis do this sort of routing stuff, and I'd be like, just stick it there, damn it, Lewis, you know. How hard is it? You call yourself a technician, you're utterly incompetent, and here I am just basically being the same. I hate it when the universe turns around and teaches you your own lesson. Okay, I need my hot glue. Yeah. It doesn't have to be permanent, but it does just help me stick it in place. I lost my piece of hot glue. It's tragic. The nice thing is you don't need a lot of temperature for this stuff. Yeah, I'm barely doing 150 on the. I've got to be careful there because that is a mount point and there's going to be a screw head. So naturally I just align it so that it lands right on top of it. Fantastic, Paul, fantastic. Surely I've got a paint down substance I can use. I probably melted the other one. I did. I feel like I really have to take it around here. Yeah, concentration. Yeah, I think it's getting close. At this point, I'll solder the wire to the annular ring on the where the screw hole is. Mike, we do have moderators. Where are they? The moderators will decide when they're ready to moderate. I personally can't be too overly busy with it. It's too hard for me to understand the context of what's going on. Oh, you just asked in general, right? Okay. I see poor Ratmole's been taking a hit. You can unleash Ratmole. I will send him an email later. It's all good, Barry. I'll send Ratmole an email. I appreciate that, though. Thank you. Alrighty, well that's a nasty looking kludge job in my opinion. It's not something I would in any way, shape or form consider to be pretty. I'm not even happy with the choice of wire, but unfortunately I seem not to have a convenient supply of 0.2 at the moment. I've got 0.1, I've got 0.0 whatever and everything else, but not 0.2. Certainly not in insulated form. No, I got 32 gauge, but that's still too heavy. I'm just glad there is a community there that cares, or looks out for those sort of things for me. So thank you for that, Barry. Used to buy bus wire. I don't know what they would call it now, but most of the time I used to have wire wrap wire. Yeah, that's not very pretty. Alright, so what I'm going to do is none. Check the diode mode on that, and then we'll plug it in and we'll have a look at the diode mode then. And I suspect we will find that the cable or the trackpad itself is Ratmole, probably best if you just The I'll just send you an email. Barry, just leave this one go. And yeah, this is what I hate. How do you deal with these scenarios? It's like, yeah. Okay, 0.42. Funnily enough, that's about what we had on the trace. But don't get me wrong, Barry, I do appreciate what you did. Because under normal circumstances, I would do exactly the same, and I agree. It just happened to, it was just a bit of a, there was already a bit of background context which didn't come across. So, keep firing. And Ratmole, this is why usually when you have things like that happen, you generally don't bring it up in a public area where you know you're dealing with people who are there for the support and stuff like that, because it can be very hard to quickly explain things fast enough that you don't end up hanging from a noose. Yeah, Barry gets to stay a mod for sure. I can't give double mod points, unfortunately. Alright, so our diode mode's good for that. And now we plug it back in and see what the diode mode becomes. And yeah, I suspect we'll find that the trackpad or the flex, because I can see there's pinholes in that flex. I'm actually genuinely amazed there isn't a burnout on there, but I suppose all the heat did get dissipated into that filter. Alright, Moles, it's par for the course, as they would say. Par for the course. That's why people are secretive and quiet. Guess what? We can't measure that. Oh yes, we can. Wait, yeah, no, yes, wait, no, yes, yes. No, we can. I think. Yeah, we can measure it up here. Okay, so diode mode still remain the same. Now I'm getting concerned, because if it's an active fault, then you're not going to know. When I say an active fault, I mean it doesn't appear until maybe a MOSFET on the trackpad closes to let the power through, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. But while it's powered off, the static indication through the diode mode doesn't reveal that there is a fault there. So we go schematics. And I have a moderately strong feeling if I powered this up, we would be presented with yet more fireworks. Okay. I'm certainly not injecting voltage, no thanks. No thanks. Alright, so see these pins here. Trackpad column. Yeah, I'm really thinking that, genuinely thinking if I power that up, it's going to go bang. What I'll do is I'll actually put this board into a separate trackpad chassis just to see. And if it goes bang, then well, okay, fine, that's my own dumb fault. But so it was 682. God damn, I've got to really sort my crap out. There's so many jobs here that I'm like, I have no recollection. And that's embarrassing. Still, I guess that's why I have a tracking system. Ow. If I didn't have a tracking system, then yeah, that would be a genuinely big issue. Bigger than this is now. But I do. Power on without the trackpad. That's probably not a dumb idea, so yeah, we'll do that. I was going to tilt this up, but I just realised there's no screen there. We don't want a screen at this point, so it's all good. There's no smoke emanating yet. Okay, 20 volts, 600, okay, so that's booting. Let fan spin. We'll have a look at the... It's just impressive that there is no damage on that connector. Alright. Trackpad connected, so here we go now. No flames or smoke. And we're on the run again. Okay. So it seems like the board is actually okay now. And even with the trackpad connected. I'm trying to think where my spare screen went for that one. I really need to test it with the screen to make sure the trackpad is functioning. Let's look a little harder and try to find the one that I have with the screen on it. No, you're 2159. You're definitely not right for me. Not today. Who are you? Okay, this has CTPC written all over it, which generally implies that it's mine. And unfortunately that one's had water damage on it, so the trackpad is no good. Okay, and you're also no good. You're just a fake looking one. Crikey, mate. This is more difficult than... Yeah, whatever. Who are you? So I realise now what's happened is I used the working chassis on another job, testing to make sure that board was working. Alright, finally. Well, we don't know what caused the explosion, but most likely I'd gauge by the nature of the cable that was on that one. It's got pits in it. I would say that it's a shorted trackpad or cable. Now all we're doing here is simply verifying that the board works, so that then we'll put the investment of time and energy into ripping out because you've got to take the battery out to get to the trackpad. So obviously you don't want to do that unless you really have to. Let's see, I need a boot. Mark the pits in the cable. They indicate that there's been like grit and stuff on it, which means that they could have shorted a couple of the lines in the cable to ground. But again, it is still a bit peculiar overall that that inductor slash filter would burn up like that so aggressively. Maybe the fault was on the board in itself. Maybe something happened in that area and it managed to make contact with the ground somehow. I don't know, but it's all a bit weird. Anyway, here we go. This is going to be for the flashbang test. Thankfully no frickin' flashbang. Damn it, that battery just keeps falling out. Not getting a fan spin. Ah, yep, there we go. Okay. Yeah, the pits are actual damage. They're usually caused from gravel or sand getting into the system. Literal gravel and sand getting in on the underside of the case, and it grinds against the flex. I'm guessing the trackpad must have worked then because I just used it, didn't I? I just don't know what it's doing at the moment. What's happened there? Oh, we've got the gaming groupies again. Bloody hell. What is the deal with the gaming groupies? You're so slow. Now we've got the issue of what sensors have been taken out. That's so slow. Let's plug the battery in. Plugging the battery in is a surefire way of eliciting a volatile response from the system, because at that point you can't back out. It's like, oh, let's go full commitment energy that you can't pull away from. I have a feeling that it's probably just got sensor damages to the keyboard or something like that. Yeah, sometimes they can. Not always. Okay, I don't have a... It depends on where that pit is. But I can definitely see them on here. Okay, once I confirm that the behavior is good, it's Okay, it seems to be pretty quick there. Okay, trackpad's working. We know the keyboard works. So that is fixed from the board's perspective. Some of these boards you have to put the battery in, otherwise they do just run horribly slow. Not all, but some. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we will take the customer's chassis, we'll take the battery out, we'll take the trackpad itself out, have a look, see what's going on there. Mike Sims, yeah, it's all I did is I took something like a A1466 or A1278, yeah, something like that, removed the drive, and then had this USB stick as the only available storage in the machine. And then I plugged in my High Sierra installer, and then, yeah, just treated it like that. So basically I installed the OS onto a USB stick. I need to write the number on this. I'm getting a few too many of these boards around. Oh, obviously I can tell that's that one, because we've got the damn wires hanging off it. Mike, I basically just have things like the Valley performance tester. I got my keyboard testing program. That's really the only two. Oh, and the hardware info program, so that I can see what the temperatures are and things like that. But other than that, everything else is done by the Mac OS itself. Things like Wi-Fi connectivity, camera check, audio check, all that sort of stuff. Let's see, what can I get away with here? I don't really need to remove those. They don't help me at all, but I do need to unscrew these. Oops, looks like we just violated the factory installed safety. These batteries are a little bit tricky to get into, I found. I often revert back to using the string pull method. Let's see how we go tonight. Hey Chris. The reason why these ones are tricky is because there's a lip under here. And so your spudger or your removal tool gets snared on it. Like, I'll show. So there's this lip here, and same for over here and over here. So all the angles you want to try come in at, they get snared. So I kind of got to work on this. Preferably you go from this side so you got the shortest width of adhesive to go after, like to attack into. But the only real alternative is to come up this way, and then you don't get hit by the lip, and you do get to have a limited width of adhesive tape to attack. See you, Barry. Thank you. No, that's just not happening today. I think we're going to have to go string method. I'm up this late because I'm awake. God damn it, it's not my day today. Shite. See how it bulges up like that? I hate that. I'm basically just going to have to replace this battery. Yeah, that's a damaged battery. That's my fault too. I can't blame the user on that one. That's mine. It's all me. Heating it up doesn't even really give me much either. Just go back to the string, but stick a tiny amount of alcohol on the string. Things like 1502 and basically all the other. These are probably one of the worst batteries for getting them out. Now the reason why I don't like to put a lot of alcohol on these is because if it ever seeps through, it may get to the screen, and if it gets to the screen, well, it's just... Great, so that finally cut through. And so did that. Why are you such a difficult battery? Now we do it all again on this side. You're right, the heat is useful, but you also got to remember it's pretty warm in this area already. And this can be one of those videos that you pretend never happened. Ah, fuck it. I mean, damn it. Well, Apple really went to town with making that one a good connection on that. Hey Pedro, what the hell are you doing up at this hour? So I've taken out 1708 packs quite a few times, but this one has naturally been a genuine pain. Clearly it knows it's on YouTube. Breakfast at 4. Alright, fair enough. What are you, like one of those crazy people that start work at 5:30 in the morning? Practicing for retirement. Hey Mark, how's it going? My sleeping hours are they're just stuck up. Oscar, no, the problem is that it's really more to do with the trackpad, but there's a problem, and I don't want to test it by plugging it back into the board. I need to vaporize the board again. This is my iPad type temperature, like 60 centigrade. It's enough that if I walk away and forget about it, then the iPad can survive being at that indefinitely. Whereas if I go too much higher, then and I forget about it, bad things will happen. Let's put that back on the ground. Yeah. One of those days. That's one way to remove the trackpad cable, isn't it? Not the right way. Come on, buddy, you were so close. There we go. And now we've got the dreaded middle one. As if the other two weren't bad enough, the middle one is just profoundly worse. Seriously, with these yellow shucking, with these things, batteries normally come out in seconds, but this one, I don't know. This one has decided to say, nay, we shall not go quietly into the night. The central one might actually... Yeah, somebody's getting a new battery. I'll just use that as a test battery. Oh, anyway, let's have a look at the flex and see what I was talking about with regards to the pitting. So come up a bit. Alright, you can see the punch through marks. So now all this sort of cross hatching, that's typically ground. And you see a few of them have penetrated all the way through, and you can see the data lines that run on the other side. And so it's entirely possible that like things like that can push a data line or push the ground. Yeah, you can actually see there, see the copper's exposed there. And that's the remnant of yeah. Yep, see another one that's got exposed copper as well. And that's how it happens. It kind of makes sense it would happen in the middle of the flex too. But even still, it is very strange that the flex didn't. Typically, you will get, if there's a high amount of current, you know, one of these traces are going to burn up. Unless, yeah, see, pin 21 and 20, 21, 23. It's sort of like the middle of the so you can see it's the middle of the tray, the flex on one particular side. So if we find one that has ruptured the middle, which you know could easily be that one there, or that one, that's, and then there's a third one in the middle there, though it doesn't quite look like it's gone through. But yeah, there's been a few events there. Anyway, so it's possible that the trackpad is okay, but it's difficult to trust it now. Now we had to remove the battery because it's the only way to actually get to the trackpad properly, particularly if you need to replace it. Yeah, I'm guessing the trackpad's actually okay. Yeah, I agree, Miles. I do agree. Yeah, you do have to remove the battery to get these ones out. There's no way you can get this trackpad out without having the battery remover, because you've got 8 screws there, another 2 there, 10 screws, and then it will drop out. You can remove the trackpad cable without removing the battery on this model. Oscar, I don't think so. You want to tell me how that's done? Oh, wait, yeah. No, I see what you're saying. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Sorry for me arguing with you. I know what I was thinking now. Because the cable was snared under there, I was thinking I couldn't get to it. Yeah. For those wondering how, I'll show you how. Like that. Late night working, boys and girls. Not good for you. But yes, you can remove it now. Well, that was a dumb move. It's not so much that it's late, it's just that I wasn't thinking clearly. You get into the habit of having all these things captured by the battery that you just don't even think twice sometimes until someone mentions it. Oh well. See, people, I'm human. Anyway, dumb shit. Mike, I'm sitting here feeling pretty stupid now. No, Oscar, no, look, I appreciate it. I just feel pretty stupid about the fact that. And the thing is, it's not the first time I've ripped out the battery. Usually, though, it's for battery replacement purposes. And yeah, you just sort of get into that blind mindset where you think, I have to remove the battery, so you do it. And now that I think also because sometimes you look at the things like, okay, I've got all the exposed screws, but you feel like Apple's not that nice. They won't do that. They won't let me remove that trackpad. There'll be something underneath it that denies me access without removing the battery. Oh well. Well, that'll be the last time I do that then, at least. That's a good thing, isn't it? That's the nice thing about learning things, even when you should know better. So we all have our blind spots occasionally. Ah, losing my finger. And yeah, I'm going to replace this person's battery at no charge. It's not their fault that I botched it up. The battery will work. Yeah, it's not like it's dead now or anything, but when you distort soft lithium pack batteries, you do reduce their overall capacity, because what happens is as you distort it, the layers, the electrolyte between the various layers and things like that, it gets squeezed together a little bit too close or something like that, and that causes it to have a reduced lifespan. And also increases the risk of a possible internal failure, which of course would be quite disastrous. You don't want these things catching on fire. Yeah, it'll be a testing battery. because all the other ones I've got a liquid damaged. It's funny, you look back on things and you sort of wonder whether the universe was trying to tell you not to do something. Like the extreme difficulty that I was having in removing that pack compared to what I'm used to with the 1708s. I mean, yeah, I'm used to having these lips here that I've got to fight against, but I've never had a battery of the 1708 with such a strong adhesive as this one. And it's kind of like the universe saying, buddy, don't remove the battery. But no. Instead you get dogmatic and you're like, no, you're coming out. And the universe is like, alright, it's on you. Mike's like, when you mean I got married at 28. My wife got married at 19. To a 28-year-old. Yeah, Prater, exactly. You know, you do look back at the things that happen and you go, well, I think the universe was trying to tell me not to do that. Well, thank you everybody for not laughing at me too much. Although I know you did laugh, but I suppose you deserve it. Okay. The other thing I do hate about taking these out are all those little metal plates that they leave behind that you got to gather up and reinstall properly. It's okay, Mike, I'll let you laugh. Actually, to deal with that plate scenario, I'm just going to do this. And then theoretically, theories are great. Theoretically, if I lift it up cleanly, it should retain all those plates in place. Yep, they will look. There should be some circular ones there. No? Alright. Alright. Interesting to note, we have got liquid damage up here around the perimeter. And there's some sort of scoring or something going on there. Pedro, you know there's no shortage of people out there that proclaim they've never made a mistake. Okay, so we've got, yeah, some liquid ingredient. Whether that really was at fault, I'm unsure. It doesn't seem like it would be. Certainly more ingress there. So that might have been enough to wick in. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, on top of the board repair cost, this will now have a trackpad and trackpad cable cost. Alrighty. No, not you. I should put a great big fat mark on this one to indicate not to use it. Or I think probably the better thing is to throw it in the bin. But occasionally you do want the parts off these. Like if you do get the scenario where you just see one part's been broken off, for instance, like due to a bad installation, and you can put that part back on. It doesn't happen very often, but it doesn't hurt to have one on standby. Although I probably should be sensible and remove the FPC connector on it. So I'll just put a cover that in red. Big X, X. Try and tell myself not to use that. Okay. Crowd, we're almost out of slots. So I guess the question is, what actually died? Was it the trackpad causing that with the liquid damage, causing the frying of the filter? Or was it the cable with the shorted lines? I'm personally leaning towards it being the cable. Just my personal view. Mostly because I think if that degree of current, that was enough to do that damage, heavy flowing across the flex really would not have survived like that, and we would see some indications on the connections, particularly on this end here. These little FPCN connector, they do not like having excessive current through them. They will fry up pretty quick. So yeah, I'm going to say that it was the cable. Maybe if I look carefully I might be able to see on this side if one of that trace is like cavitated a little or changed in its texture. But quite frankly, I really couldn't give a damn, my dear. Not at this hour. Steve, we haven't tried anything at all we haven't tried the flex or the trackpad from the failure machine after repairing the main board. Yeah, we just don't want to take that risk. Packing tape? Possibly. You mean like packing tape or maybe PVC tape? Something with a little bit more give in it. Or barrier resistance. Now, I gotta work out what to do about this. Tacking down that wire. I suppose I can UV, just go over the whole lot and UV cure it. I might do that in the morning. It's getting a bit late now. So, yeah, I think we'll call it for the night. 4:30. Time for me to go eat some food, watch a little bit of TV, and then crash for the night for the next hour and a half. But, well, thank you very much for being here. I hope you were entertained by my pointless activities of removing the battery that didn't need to be removed. And I will now go and do other things. And then tomorrow I have to remember to find out what that password is for that machine that we fixed up last night, given that I wasn't able to get it today. So I'm out of here. You all take care. I'll see you next time.